morning everybody, welcome back to Vlogmas day 14. It's Monday the 14th of December and I'm in a slightly different position on the sofa today because the sun is coming through the window at just the wrong angle and was getting right in my eyes. I hope you're all doing well. I've had an interesting morning. I was putting my makeup on and right in the middle of doing that I got a nosebleed. Which, please don't worry, I'm absolutely fine, I'm not ill. It's something that I've suffered with since I was a child and they just always happen at the most inopportune moment, i.e. when you're just in the middle of putting your makeup on. Thank you all for your comments on yesterday's video. You guys are amazing. I love reading your comments. And please don't think if you ask me a question that I'm ignoring you. I'm saving them up. I'm going to do a whole episode, or not episode, Vlogmas video with all the questions and just do a little sort of questions and answers thing. I thought that'd be quite fun. So if you've got any more, just pop them down. It would be really super helpful for me if you just write the word question at the beginning of your comment, right at the beginning, and then it's really easy for me to pick them out as I'm going through. So yes, I'm not ignoring you, but I have been reading them all and thank you so much for all the comments on yesterday. The chocolate cookies were amazing, so good. They were delicious. The recipe is free on nigella.com. Just search for her chocolate Christmas cookies, and she does have a I think she has like a little button that you can click on all her recipes if you want the US measurements instead of the metric measurements for the ingredients, but everything should be easily available and they are, well, you saw how quick and easy they are to make. If I can make them, then you can make them, and they are super delicious. I had another go at the meringues. As you saw, they were little blobs, but at least I ended up with something. I'll show you them later when I'm back from doing my chores this morning. But yes, I think some of you have pointed out that liquid carton egg white might not be the best for getting good volume in meringues, so if I do try them again, I think I will just go old school and separate the eggs myself and do it that way. But yeah, it's disappointing, isn't it, when you just think, right, this time I've got it, they're gonna work, and they don't. But anyway, let's not make this a whole meringues series of videos. Let's move on and have a look at today's advent. Today, number 14, and it's the stitchery. I'm hoping that the sun is, you can see the way it's sort of coming through, it really showing off my natural highlights. I hope you'll be able to see it. So let's get this open and see what's inside. Oh, it's a little box, very mysterious box. And inside, oh my goodness, you're gonna love this. This is beautiful stitch, hand-dyed threads. And I'm gonna try and read this backwards. Frosted bells, silver bells, snowberries, icy rose, and winter sage. Shall we have a look? Oh my gosh, they are so pretty. Can you see those? Aren't they amazing? They are just amazing. I love them. They look like they're cotton, 6-strand cotton threads. I'll never want to stitch with them. I just want to keep them in that box looking like that. They are just the most pretty thing I think I've ever seen. They're just gorgeous. You could eat them, couldn't you? Oh, that's made me happy today. I did just have some happy post actually. The postman delivered a final Christmas present I was waiting on, something for Justin. So I'm glad that's arrived. And also a delivery from Peakside Needleworks. Now, Peakside Needleworks are one of my absolute favourite online needlework shops here in the UK, and I can't praise them enough for their range, their service in getting stuff out to you. They just are absolutely brilliant. And I've got some threads in there for Merry and Minty, the Brenda Gervais stitch along that went on last week, so I'm a little bit behind, but I'm going to get that all kitted up today. And also some of the threads for Snow Garden for Anniversaries of the Heart. So yes, it's been an exciting morning, apart from the nosebleed. So I'm going to head off and do the things I need to do today. I need to pop to M&S and pick up some bits and pieces for Justin's dad and drop those round to him, and just a few other chores, and then I'll be back a little bit later. I'll see you then. Everybody, I'm back from doing my chores. You would have seen a little bit of footage while I was out. I popped to see Justin's dad and drop off some things that I got in M&S for him, some bits of grocery shopping, and got a few more treats for us for Christmas, which is good because things are getting ticked off the list, which makes me happy. And what else did I do? Popped into Hobbycraft, got a few bits and pieces which I'll show you in a moment. And I just on the way back to Justin's dad, he lives in a really lovely village, and the church there is really old, so I just stopped and just did a little, ever such a quick little video just to show you the church there, because parts of that date back to the 1400s. I think it was most of it was rebuilt in the 1800s, but the original parts do date back to the 1400s. So it's a really old church and just really pretty there. Okay, so I've also popped a little tiny bit of footage that I'm going to put at the end after you've seen this bit of the meringues. I just popped them on a plate so that you could see my final, the final meringue blobs. So thank you all for joining me on the little meringue journey that we've all had a little bit of a giggle about. Okay, so I mentioned to you this morning that I had some threads delivered from Peakside Needleworks, and I just needed to get a couple more that were out of stock with Peakside that I knew I could get in Hobbycraft. So the plan is that this afternoon I am going to make a start on the Merry and Minty. This was Brenda Gervais' stitch along that she launched last week. So I've got everything ready now. I've printed out the chart. And I have, look how neatly I've lined these up for you. Don't they look gorgeous? I love threads all lined up. I've gone, they're all DMC apart from the Classic Colourworks Licorice Red, which I was going to say which I had in stock. I'm not shop, which I had in stash. So they're all good to go. I should put them on some thread drops this afternoon, make them look pretty. And I did get from Peakside a piece of, just a small piece of linen. And this is R&R Reproductions, a 32 count in sheep's straw. It's a really nice colour. I'll take it out. I think Brenda Gervais actually calls for, I'm just looking at the pattern, she calls for a 36 count. I'm not quite ready for 36 count yet, but I've dropped it on the floor now. Yeah, I did the calculation on the fabric and the stitch count, and it will fit on here. So I've got this piece of linen, which is coming out really pale on the camera. It's weird, isn't it? But it's a lovely warm colour. So I should look forward to making a start on that. I shouldn't really be starting any new Christmas projects. And I have, under no illusion that this will be finished for Christmas, but I just thought it'd be nice to sit and stitch it and get, yeah, just get a start on it, because everyone's been stitching it. It looks so pretty. I had the FOMO, guys. I didn't want to be left out. I really need to be stitching that piece. The other thing that I've been trying to kit up as well is the first part of Anniversaries of the Heart, which is something I'm going to start in the new year. So I've shown this on my floss tube lots of times, so you're probably familiar with it. So this is part 1. And this is the one that everyone finds tricky to get the right threads. You can see it's very pale. There's lots of white and cream shades of floss, and sometimes I think it can get lost on your linen. And also it's this is quite an old pattern. These were produced back in, I'll tell you when, 2010, so 10 years old. And I've heard from other floss tubers, people that are much more knowledgeable than me, that some of the dye lots of the over-dyed threads that are listed on these charts have changed considerably in those 10 years. So when you buy the threads that they list, they don't look the way you see them on these charts anymore. So there's been lots of finagling to try and get it right. I'm trusting in Olivia from Pumpkin Hollow Quilts. I'm sure you all know her and follow her. Her Anniversaries of the Heart is breathtakingly beautiful, and she did put in the description of one of her videos a while back the threads that she used for this. So I'm going to be guided by Olivia and do my best to yeah, if I can get mine looking half as stunning as hers, I will be a very happy stitcher. So I've got sort of some threads going on in a bag here ready. There's a week's dye works, Gentle Arts, some DMCs, and then when my fabric arrives, well, I've actually got 2 pieces of fabric coming. They aren't going to be big enough, but the method in my madness is I've bought 2 pieces that I think are closest, and I've just bought smaller pieces because they'll be handy for lots of other things, and then I can choose the one that I know is right by having it here in the flesh, and then I can order the larger piece once I'm absolutely 100% certain it's the one I want. But I won't ramble on too much about that, because that will be covered all in my next floss tube episode, which will be next Sunday, which I think is the 20th of December, and I will try and finalise some details of the stitch along, because lots of people have been asking me about the stitch along. So there were a couple of other people, floss tubers and so on, that were talking about starting a stitch along as well, and I'm not sure if they're ready or not. And I don't feel like I'm qualified to, you know, I'm only a newbie stitcher and a newbie floss tuber. I don't know if I'm qualified to actually start a stitch along of my own. Who knows, if nobody else is ready, or they, you know, I don't know what anybody else is doing, then perhaps I'll just start my own stitch along. But anyway, I am rambling on. I said I wouldn't, so I will cover all that in the main floss tube episode on Sunday. Right, do you want to see what else I bought in Hobbycraft? It's not anything earth-shattering, but I'll share it with you anyway, because I like to see what people buy. First of all, if you just cast your mind back to yesterday's Advent gift from the Stitchery, I had that small ceramic watercolour palette, and I was telling you about how Nikki does lots of watercolour painting on her embroidery cloth for her designs. So I did treat myself to, had a little bit of Christmas money that came early, so I treated myself to some watercolours. These are the Winsor & Newton Cotman watercolours. They're just a very basic set. I'm no artist. These are purely for using on embroidery. But how cute are they? You get the tiny little, I think they're called quarter pans of watercolours. And this is a water brush here, and obviously you can mix colours in here, but I'll be using my little ceramic palette. So that's really lovely. I'm looking forward to having a little play with those, and I bought some brushes as well, so that's really exciting. And I bought a couple of little bits and pieces for finishing. Oh, some big wide ribbon that I need to trim the bottom of the Christmas tree in the dining room. because it had a really ugly stand on it, and because it's actually sitting on the chest of drawers in the dining room, it looks, you know, it does look a bit naff. So I've repurposed the burlap sack that the Stitchery advent calendar came in, scrunched it all up around the bottom of the tree, and I'm going to tie this round in a bow, and I think that will look quite nice. Well, a lot better than the stand that it's on. Other things I picked up for finishing, a few meters of this rickrack, lovely white rickrack. I like this on project bags, and you can't have too much rickrack, can you? And hopefully to finish off the small Stitching with Housewives piece that I showed you yesterday, the little truck, snow delivery, I just bought a little pick with the toadstool on, some ribbon and some rickrack. So I've got lots of Christmas fabric still, so I'm sure I can put something together with these to make that into a cute little finish. So that's it for me for today. I've got some, as I said, I'm going to start my Merry and Minty this afternoon, which I'm very excited about. I may be persuaded to have another chocolate cookie and a cup of tea. And then we are having Lancashire hot pot for our dinner tonight, so I'll be making that later. So I'm going to leave you with a picture of the marvellous meringues. So I hope you all enjoy seeing those, and I will look forward to chatting with you all tomorrow.